Welcome back, viewers. The Sikh Coalition is a community-based organization that works towards the realization of civil and human rights for all people. In particular, they work towards a world where Sikhs may freely practice and enjoy their faith while fostering strong relations with the local community wherever they may be. Today we have Parveen Kaur Dhillon and Mandeep Singh Dhillon with us. We are so excited to have both of you on the show and enlighten us about the religion. First of all, what is the basic fundamental difference in your faith from any other religion?
It's a great question. We're really happy to be here. The Sikh religion is based on basic tenets that many religions are. It's based on one God and a belief in human equality. There's some aspects that are fairly unique for its religion at the time. So the Sikh religion is only about 500 years old, which makes it one of the world's most modern religions. And many people don't realize that it's the 5th largest religion in the world. There are actually more Sikhs in the world than there are Jews. And,
so did it stem out of Hindu religion?
The cultural context of Sikhism from 500 years ago is that India was populated by Hindus and Muslims. And so our first guru was a Hindu who then brought a whole new idea of the faith, which moved away from certain aspects of idol worship and focused on kind of the unanimity of God. One aspect of the Sikh religion that's different is that there is no priest class really in our religion. Religion is directly between you and God. So one of the main differences between the Hindu faith is there's no caste system and that there's an individual relationship between a Sikh and the guru.
Right.
And this belief that God lives within you.
I love that part of it because I once had someone tell me that having a priest coming to your house and praying to God on your behalf is hiring someone to love your beloved.
Yeah.
So, you know, it totally makes sense to me that in whatever capacity I can worship God, I want to do it myself instead of getting a priest. I think that part of your faith attracts me.
It attracted me also in terms of, you know, religion is a personal choice. And at the end of the day, even though Parveen and I are both brought up in Sikh families, you know, you make a choice at some point in your life about the religion. And for us, it's been really important to feel like, you know, if God lives within you and your duty in life is to kind of live a way that would make the God inside you proud, it really makes it very simple to understand there's no third party involved and it's less about where you are, it's more about what you do. And that's what to me has been a very powerful part of the religion.
Now, Parveen, you were born and raised over here and you were a practicing Sikh right from your childhood. How is it growing up in the US, practicing your religion?
Yeah, so I was born in Virginia, brought up in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and you know, even as early as 2nd grade, I remember going to my classroom and always being the cultural ambassador for my Indian culture as well as my Sikh religion. It was both. And my mom used to make prashad for our class and teach the children in my classroom, which I was always the only Indian in my whole entire school. She would just be very active about educating people about our religion and about our beliefs. And the strongest things that we believe in are men and women, old, rich, poor, everybody is equal. And the idea of equality in our religion is very big.
Right, and I believe your kids growing up also is practicing.
They're practicing.
They wear the turban and go to school. What kind of reactions do they face from their friends and peers?
You know, I mean, I'm also, again, my mom was very involved in my schooling when I was growing up, and I'm a very involved parent with my children's school. And I mean, especially in the Bay Area, people embrace it. People are very, very open to learning about our school. At their school last year, they went to a private school in Menlo Park, and over there, the principal wanted to celebrate Vaisakhi with the whole entire school. He wanted to, and Zoravar, my son, and my daughter Huzuri, they're the only Sikhs in the whole entire school. And he wanted to celebrate Vaisakhi with the whole community. So I feel like people are very open and accepting, and no one has a hard time with my children's names. They're very, once they hear it, they try very hard to learn how to pronounce their names. And they take that effort because my children have been brought up to take that effort and take that pride in their name and their culture.
It's such a diverse community here and everyone exists, and I think all schools are encouraging the kids multicultural activities and celebrations, Diwali, Vaisakhi.
Even Diwali, I mean, we don't celebrate Diwali in the same way, but I love bringing up those things. I love world cultures and world religions in general. And so I think that whenever you get to celebrate another culture, Chinese New Year, whatever it may be, it's just fun, and your children learn so much from it, and you learn so much.
But coming back to the coalition, I believe it stemmed out of the 9/11 after that, and there was a need to have a group together, building awareness for your religion. What prompted?
So it's interesting, and Mandeep can speak more about this, but it's interesting because right after 9/11, a lot of communities all around the United States, especially kids from our generation who were born and raised in America and were now in their mid-20s, there were a lot of groups within the United States that were forming their own organizations to help educate people post 9/11. And over here, we were co-founders with several other Bay Area professionals for the Sikh Communications Council.
And you do a wonderful job. I think you did the 5K run recently.
That was to the Sikh Coalition, and the Sikh Coalition started in New York and ended up being one of the only organizations that stayed past 9/11, past the 2-3 years, and we're big supporters.
Yeah, I think that with the coalition and other types of events like this, what we realized at 9/11 is that nobody knew who we were. Despite having lived in this country for many generations, I would get on an airplane and I would have any reasonable expectation that anybody born and raised in this country had no idea who a Sikh was. And at a time of crisis where the whole country was really confused about what was going on and who was to blame, we found ourselves inadvertently in the spotlight. And people's original reaction was to say, hey, we're not Muslim. And we had to say, wait a second, it has nothing to do with that. It is really, really an understanding of saying we're American just like anybody else is, and it's important for us to get our story out. And so the Sikh Coalition and many other organizations, Sikh Coalition has done an incredibly good job, said, first of all, we have to educate the communities that we're in. And that was an amazing effort to begin with. And then on top of that, we have to teach our community to protect themselves, right? Which is another part of it that's really important. And whether that's through kind of the physical security or the job security and other types of things that have to do with civil rights, Sikh Coalition takes on those charges. So one, in places where Sikhs are facing physical harm or physical danger, how do you make those communities safer? But also, how do you understand your rights for employment? How do you understand your rights to follow your religious faith? Organizations like Sikh Coalition, which is a tremendous one, really have taken a huge step in the last 10 years to help our community prepare there.
So Parveen, you've written these exciting books. They look lovely. You've written it for kids, right?
Yes.
I mean, is this a part of your vision in taking the faith and the religion forward?
Yeah, so it's called My First Core Book and My First Sing Book.
I love it,
and
cute.
They're board books for I would say pregnant women starting from early birth to about 6-7 years old, and they sort of just talk about the basic ideals of our religion, and it's identity focused, identity building for young Sikh children. So if you see it, like the girl book says, I am a Kaur, a princess I am. And the boy book starts with, I am a Singh, so brave and so strong. And
I love this. This is Ekonkar, right?
Very good, yeah. And do you know what Ekonkar means?
Oneness.
Yes, God is one, equality.
We have a segment on our show. We named it Ekonkar.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I told you there was something common between all of us.
There absolutely is. And so the children's book, when I was pregnant with my son, I've always loved children's books, and I've always loved just exploring and seeing how different cultures teach children. Since I've been a kid, I've always collected children's books. And when I've traveled to Spain or traveled to Japan, China, wherever I've taught, I taught in China and Japan, or wherever we lived in Dubai, I've always been drawn towards children's books. And when we were in Dubai, I would go to bookstores and see their big display of like children's books on self-identity for like little girls wearing burqas and stuff like that, and just realizing, wow, this is really good for a little girl to see her own identity in these books.
Nice,
and so when I had my daughter, I was like, you know what, I need to do the same for my children. And we don't have anything like this. We didn't have
And when they see something like this, they don't think it's abnormal to wear something like that.
And
they think it's normal. It's a part of life.
It
you teach them that this is just you.
And it talks
there's
about
nothing to be ashamed of who you are and what you're wearing. It's because, we teach people to do that.
It's the opposite. You want them to be proud of it.
You want them to be proud. You want them to feel confident. You want them to feel like they are beautiful the way they are, and we, as parents, want them to always follow our traditions, our Sikhi, the way we have followed it ourselves.
And you're right, when they're young, when you teach them all this, when they grow up, they don't think there's anything abnormal.
Yeah.
That's right.
They've grown up with it, and you've already instilled that in them while they were growing up.
They have a book they can take to their classrooms, and we have coloring. The book comes with coloring books as well, so kids can.
Oh, can I have them?
They can. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
They can make it.
I'm going to make
personal,
my daughter
their own.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all your insightful
Thank you, Ina.
faith, religion. It was great talking to you.
Thanks. It was great to be here.